And good morning, folks. This is Naeem Aslam live from London. In this segment, we'll be talking about two major important topics. Number one, stock market's big plunge that I am seeing on my Bloomberg terminal, and which shows that the stocks are set to open even lower in the United States, and stock market is already plunging. And secondly, the massive that we are seeing in the crypto market. And there is a reason why I am smiling on the back of that, because there is an opportunity which we have been waiting for a very long time. So stay with us. We'll discuss everything in a lot more detail. As always, folks, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. And the reason markets do change, analysis needs to be updated. You guys need to be completely updated with our new analysis, with our new thoughts on the markets. And if you are subscribed, you will get the notification. Before I begin, anything which I'll be discussing in this video cannot be perceived as an advice. If you are seeking for one, please do consider consulting with your own financial advisors. Now, let's begin. What do I see on my Bloomberg terminal right over here? So what I see is whether we are speaking of the S&P 500 futures, whether we are looking at the NASDAQ futures or the Dow Jones futures, all three of them are very much trading in negative territory, pointing to a sharp decline for US stock market. And then, of course, we have already seen pretty decent sell-off for the last few weeks. In fact, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, as I see it, it is challenging the 50-day simple moving average once again, which in very simple English, it means more weakness is highly likely for the US stock market. And of course, the situation is no different for the DAX, for the CAC, for the stock 600 or stock 50 indices, because over here we are also seeing a lot of weakness. Now, of course, you may want to ask me, and which you should, because this is the only reason that I am here, for you guys to give you guys the opportunity to ask me question. This is a live chat. Feel free to point some questions over here. If you can't now, always put the questions afterwards and I'll always come back to you. Now, going back to it, the reason that we are seeing the stock market continuing to sell off is the same excuse that we have been looking at for the last number of weeks. And that is soaring inflation situation over in the United States, soaring inflation situation in Europe, soaring inflation situation in Japan, soaring inflation situation in China. Inflation is the key word. And as long as central banks do not address and acknowledge this to an extent where they start to change their narrative, we are likely not to see any major movement. But overall, valuations, they have been enormously high. And what we've experienced, what we saw from the previous earnings that we have seen for this quarter, where 90% of the companies have already reported their S&P 500 companies have already reported their earnings. What we have seen from them is 86% of them have actually beaten earnings per the forecast for earning per share. But still, investors believe the valuations are too rich and they expect the market to correct. So for this, we need to carry on and focusing on technical sort of a price levels. So for the S&P 500 index, keep looking at the 50 and 100-day simple moving average. Why? Because this is what professional traders look at. This is where they believe the prices are likely to reverse. On what time frame? That should be your question that you'd be asking me. That what time frame are you referring to? I always speak of the daily time frame, because for me, it is the daily time frame which matters the most above anything else. So expect more sell-off for the equity market and wait for the opportunity in around these near moving averages where we could see a lot of momentum. In terms of individual stocks, when I look at the DAX index, the stock which is very, very favorable, and then kind of wanted me to punish, Elon Musk, what he has done to Bitcoin, which we'll discuss in a while, is Volkswagen. The stock has been rising massively. Now I do see a massive plunge in that particular stock, and for me, that isn't an opportunity to really come in at a lower level. For me, Amazon isn't an opportunity. For me, Ryanair is an opportunity. For me, Marriott, American Airline, United Airline, Delta, Rolls-Royce, all of these companies are big, big opportunity under the current sell-off. Not to mention Airbnb, because as the economy opens up, we will see more people traveling. These are the stocks that we've got to be keeping our eyes on. So let's move the gear and then move into the crypto market. Before we do that, just a gentle reminder, if you like the content, if you like what you are seeing, if you are learning from it, do give us a thumbs up, because it really helps us on Google's algorithm, and that sort of keeps us motivated to keep producing good videos for yourself. And as always, do give us a suggestion. What do you guys like us to talk about? What do you want me to really focus on? Because after all, we do have the terminal over here, Bloomberg Terminal, which is extremely expensive, and I can give you the information which can help you to become a much better and a focused trader. Now, let's focus on Bitcoin. So in terms of a Bitcoin, what I really see on that side over here is that all the Elon Musk effect is very much over. Traders are not now, because when he announced that yes, Tesla is going to accept Bitcoin, we saw the massive rally from 40,000 to nearly 65,000 price level. Now, Bitcoin today has violated two important price levels. What are those price levels? Why don't you tell me? If you guys don't know what are those two important price levels, number one was the psychological support of $40,000. That was the major price level which has been violated today. And number two, a small violation of the 200 simple moving average on the daily time frame. But earlier today, I have done a separate video covering Bitcoin's price action and then really talking about Bitcoin's price action. What we really discussed there is the important support zone, the important pivot level, the important buy level, where the prices are likely to reverse their direction. And now, if you look at that video, look at the price where it is trading now, you will see that the price has already actually bounced off those particular price levels. I am not saying that level is the best level, because I have mentioned two more levels in that video as well. Because if the sell-off continues, we could see go to down further from here. Now, the question really on the fundamental side of Bitcoin is, how long are we going to continue to see this sell-off? Well, just like when we were right on the peak of Bitcoin and the positive news couldn't really push it to the upside, now we have to look at the same sort of a fundamental, and that is negative news really flowing on from left and right. Because today we heard from People Bank of China, which really triggered the sell-off in Bitcoin, and that was that okay, People Bank of China is once again going to ban Bitcoin. Come on. When was the last time we heard a favorable statement from Chinese central bank? They've always been after Bitcoin. They've always wanted to ban Bitcoin. They always wanted to stop the use of Bitcoin because they have their own digital currency. So, this was nothing but an excuse. Of course, this is a negative news, and it always impacted Bitcoin price. And we've seen that previously in 2017 as well, when the crypto winter, which led the prices into crypto winter, meaning the prices really sort of dropped. But right now, the conversation really is that if 40,000 sort of a price level doesn't hold, then we are really moving to 30,000. And by that time, the price would have dropped more than 50% from its high. Remember, when Bitcoin was at 20,000 back in 2017, it went all the way to nearly 3,700. That was whooping nearly 70% drop from its all-time high. So even at 30,000, we are only talking about 50% drop. More importantly, just to finish off, keep an eye on Ethereum, because I think the current sell-off in Ethereum is really a great opportunity, or could be a great opportunity. Why? Because we do not see Ethereum prices falling off the cliff. They are certainly nowhere close to, what we call it, at half of the all-time high. We are getting there for sure, but I think the momentum is going to be more stronger this time in terms of Ethereum as compared to Bitcoin, because of course, the energy and all of those issues. So once again, give us a thumbs up if you like the content. Otherwise, I will see you guys same time, same place tomorrow. Happy trading until then.